Bitcoin had its light switch completely turned off from traditional finance during this move right behind me here. This is the US 500. Last live show on Tuesday, it was trapped below here. It looked kind of concerning. However, it maintained a 1 hour higher low structure, meaning it has permission to get back over this resistance. We were really zoomed in on that, right? It looked kind of bloody, but it maintained higher lows on the 1 hour. Therefore, it had permission to get back above. Bitcoin did not follow this move here at all, which means the light switch was turned off. So now that this move looks like it's over, this is the top of the bullish control, or the bull trap zone, which we've had on this chart for months and months and months and months. I did not retrofit this. My channel's had this line here for months. It looks like the move might be over. So what is Bitcoin going to do now that it didn't go up with this, but now it's gonna start correcting, most likely, right? And will Bitcoin be able to hold strong as this comes down, given that it did not go up with this? It has done that before, but we're going to look at the secret chart that only my channel and the community has to look at, or has because we developed that chart. It's very simple. You can absolutely feel free to copy it unless you're a content creator. So let's go take a look at that secret chart and see if we can get some clues. Are you ready? Let's go get some Bitcoin. Here is this. So this is the US 500 chart. Not looking very good. Zooming out. I've taken off origin lines. We're just looking at a macro channel. We've had this channel for quite some time. Not YouTube channel, but a macro channel, right? And what happens after, hits the top? It makes lower lows. High, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Oh. A high lower to that one. Lower low. Lower high, or no. Yeah, lower high, lower low. Big bull trap, but lower low. Bull trap, another big one. What's going to happen next? A lower low. There's no reason it won't happen. Like, that is the trend until it's not. I know that sounds stupid. I know it sounds dumb. In the first 100 times I heard it, I didn't get it. If that describes you, the trend is the trend until it's not. If that sounds dumb, I get it, but let me show you why this is such a big deal. Very easy way to visualize this. Let's say during a Bitcoin bear market, you are a influencer who's saying, are you buying the dip? Are you buying the dip? Just like almost everyone, right? Wasn't me. Right, so from the 69K top, are you buying the dip? 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 Right? Those people. They didn't know that the trend is the trend until it's not. Weekly, daily, somewhere around there. 4-hour trends change all the time, but we're talking daily, weekly. So let's go to the, I need to go to a weekly chart. It'll be a little bit more obvious. So let me make myself small. Let me show you what this means. It's so simple. And I just thought of this last night. All right, so take a look. And I want to share this with everybody. Because my community, I already made a tutorial. I think it's video number 5 on my series within the Discord community in the Cryptillion tutorial section channel on my Discord. But I didn't say it this way, and I might go back and edit that video to say it to add this phrase. So it's a lot clearer on the weekly trend. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Boom, 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 boom. So buy the dip, did I buy the dip, did I buy the dip? All right, the person saying buy the dip isn't respecting the trend. So let's say there are two people that every time there was big macro weekly price movements, they want to be right and they're competing with each other, right? After the weekly trend is broken about here, okay? That's when the second person becomes bearish, respecting the trend. But the first, so person 1, and then person 2. I really wasn't going to do this for this video, but I need to. Person 2, okay? Pink person is buy the dip. Did you buy the dip? Did you buy the dip? Just like the vast majority of influencers on Twitter and YouTube, right? And then, but once the trend changed on the weekly, this guy says, you know what? I think it's going to be lower low. You shouldn't be buying the dip. You should sell rallies. In a downtrend, especially the weekly, the equivalent to did you buy the dip? Did you buy the dip? Is the real thing you should say is, did you sell into this rally? It's equivalently the same. That is the play. But here's the point. If they are guessing each time that that's the bottom, or this person is saying that's the bottom, that's the bottom, that's the bottom, that's the bottom, how many times will this person be wrong? This person will be wrong every single time but the last, when it finally is the bottom and the trend changes. And this person will be right every single time except the last. What would you rather be? Purple person or pink person? Did you buy the dip? Do you want to be right every single time but once? Or do you want to be wrong every single time but once, then delete your tweets and your YouTube videos and say, look at me. Trend is your friend. That's what it is. If you're not allowing the trend be your friend, within that trend, you will be wrong every single time but once until the trend changes. So why not be right every single time but once? And then you realize, hey, the trend's different. And when that happens, it's not necessarily up to the moon. You often get consolidation for a while. So when the trend changes, you should expect some consolidation and some trickiness, some flat price action, right? Instead of just going straight bullish. That's the trend, be your friend. All right, and we know that the stock market will lead Bitcoin down for the most part, right? At this point, okay? With a high probability. Let me make myself small again. All right. Where was I? I was on, not Harmony 1. I was on, this is the Euro. I was on Bitcoin. No, I was on US 500. Here we go. So the whole idea here is, it's obvious that as of now, it's actually stupid. I just proved you. It's dumb to not think that this is going to make a lower low. I just proved it to you. I did. I literally proved it to you with basic logic, like a Vulcan, okay? Pointy ass ears. Here we go. I watch a lot of Star Trek, sorry. So we know it's dumb not to at least have that mentality, because we prefer to be right every single time but once. We know that one time we'll be wrong, but you don't guess when that's going to be. You let yourself be wrong because the trend is your friend. So lower lows. The question is, when does it get initiated, right? Now we're going to zoom way in there. We're going to get intimate with this 𝐃𝐬𝐬𝐜𝐸. Bitcoin did not participate in this. In this rally. Can Bitcoin hold strong while this corrects? Absolutely. Because this secret chart now, finally we're going to get to the secret chart, but I needed to show you why it made sense with that basic analogy. Or actually, facts. You will be right every time once. Let's go to... Where's my secret chart? Here we go. You can see the formula right here if you want to copy it. Unless you're a YouTube creator or a content creator. You have not seen this chart on YouTube unless it's on my channel, right? Hopefully that'll change. I would actually like for other people to use this. Because it's amazing. And I have a team leader and some VIPs who are really into this chart because this shows you the light switch. All right, let me go to the 8-hour chart. So back during this 160-day consolidation back here, every trend up was when the stock market was making lower lows and Bitcoin stayed flat. Bitcoin did not go up during this time. It hit, I think, 17.2 or 17.5 in one of those big, gigantic, not the November dump, but it was like July. And then for 160 days, it went sideways. And so during that time, the stock market made lower low, lower low. I think it made 3 to 4 significant lower lows on the daily chart. Okay, daily trend kept going. Bitcoin stayed flat. So if Bitcoin goes this way, and the other chart to which it's compared goes down, that means it outperforms it, right? So 0, so you're taking the difference. It's essentially the difference. So flat is 0 minus a negative number like 10, right? It goes down 10 points, the stocks do, but Bitcoin stays flat, right? The difference is positive 10, which means up. You go up 10. Subtracting a negative number because you're taking the difference. But if the stock market makes a higher local high like it just happened, and Bitcoin stayed flat, kind of like it did, that's subtracting a positive number, which means Bitcoin will go down versus, because the answer is -5. And then the chart would go down, right? Even though Bitcoin stayed flat. So most of this action is actually Bitcoin staying flat while the stock market doesn't. We making sense there? Subtracting a negative number is a positive? Okay. And that's why this is going up. All right, so the light switch got turned off, and you can see it right here. It broke the trend, and so this was what's going on. They turned off the light switch, so it fell off this channel. Let's go to like the 1 minute chart. Let's watch it. Like, when did the light switch turn off? I actually haven't back tested this. I think it's going to be the exact moment that the US 500 went up. I bet it is, or it's close. I bet it's close. Okay, so let's look, and we'll actually get the exact like 1 hour timing. Let's go to the 15 minute. Watch. Right there, where it retested the bottom. That is yesterday on my, so this is New York time, 15:45 hours. So just before market close, because that's just before 4 p.m. Okay, so about 15:45 on the 28th of December. Now let's go to US 500 and see when that spiked up. I should have planned this, but all right, so 15:45, but I'm pretty confident it's right. Hope it's a little bit before. Right there. A little earlier than I thought. But what is that? That's the bottom. I didn't expect that. I thought it would be here. But it's the lowest closing candle. And it's a green one, which means light switch off. So the money that moved this up already knew they were going to do it here, and probably even before. Do you see what do you smell what I'm stepping in? Check. All right, dude. Let me look at the comments, make sure I'm not streaming or something. Okay, here we go, sound check. See that? Light switch was turned off right there. And that's what creates that, it helps create different movements in that secret chart we had. And you'll only hear the light switch rule on, within my community. You won't hear it anywhere else. And you won't see that chart anywhere else if you want these types of signals. So now, when will the light switch be turned on? Here's the problem though. This created a lot of playroom now. There's so much wiggle room because it created distance and it can do more things with the light switch off. So Bitcoin technically can have a slightly more playroom without breaking any rules within here, right? And when the light switch is turned back on, there's simply more wiggle room. It's going to get a little bit less predictable at this point. So trading will be more difficult trading is going to get a little trickier if you are subject, if you're using these as signals. So what I've suggested to my community, because all of this space was created when the light switch was off, before the light switch is turned back on, I feel that they need to close the gap because Bitcoin's down here and the US 500's here. They need to close the gap a little bit like that. And then the light switch will be turned on. So I think if this forms a higher low to here and Bitcoin is still sideways, that's when the light switch will be turned on. Just like, I think I'm 4 for 4 now. I'm actually surprised. I'm 4 for 4 with those high impact economic data plays where I guess where whales will drive price on Bitcoin for the launch pad of volatility by directional. I've gotten it right 4 times in a row. And I didn't showboat the last one. I think it was 17.2. I said, I think it's going to land on the blue buck 17.2 before PPI or PE, whatever it was. And it's exactly what happened the 4th time. And I thought I was going to get it wrong. I even said it on camera, I think this is where my track record ends, but it was right. And so, you know, I'm not horrible at reading what the whales will do for this, for the massage part. What they do from the launch pad is a little harder, but just recalibrating and getting everything together, I don't know, 4 for 4 is not horrible. So I'm seeing something right. And so with that, this could be wrong, right? And this isn't the same type of guess, but just to build rapport here. And I have made some follow-up videos, you know, my showboat videos on like the first 3. I showed them. I didn't follow up on the 4th. So I think this gap needs to close first, and then something tricky will happen, right? And so when will this gap close? Around the FOMC minutes and the JOLTS job reports, which is Wednesday, January 4th, around here. So something like this, it should be recalibrated right here, because that's when bidirectional volatility will happen, is exactly on January 4th. It's going to do stupid crap. The stock market will, the price of Tesla will. Tesla can hit 150. We just saw that. Like, that's not free content. I'm not going to show you why. But Cryptillions tier for YouTube. I'm getting ready to share that video with you, so it'll be uploaded here shortly. And then anybody within the community didn't see that. Yeah, Tesla can actually have a pretty big rally here. But it doesn't have permission to go much higher than that, and it won't. It has to hit the next origin line down. But I might do a standalone video. So anyway, so that's what's at stake on Bitcoin. Now let's look at the Bitcoin chart itself, and then we'll wrap this piece up. If you want extremely precise lines, your chart, I would make boxes just like mine. I have them labeled. Thank goodness for these price labels. I actually copied off of the other KDA guy, Ryan Matta. I saw him use these. I was like, that is badass. Thank you for teaching me that. I didn't even know those existed. They're really convenient. But I don't see anybody else using these. They just say, this is $5. You know, I can't tell. Anyway, this is really good stuff. So I have it labeled so you can draw this on your chart. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you drastically. I mean, look, let's go down to the 10 second. That might be too small. Will it even let me go back that far? Yeah, 30-second chart. This is real. These lines are for real. 0.02% off. Based off of it. Like, these lines are legit. Brought it up, rejection, and then tanked it right at this line. Right? These lines are they're near perfect. This is what the big money bots are looking at right now. So this will give you the right alerts. It could create a fake out, yes, but we on this channel, we are always prepared for fake outs. And sometimes we expect the fake out. But I think because things are so bearish, the fake out should be to the upside, right? I was a little scared out the other day thinking, man, I was expecting a 6% move for Bitcoin up and a 8 to 12% move up on altcoins because Bitcoin dominance was taking a correction. But since then, the charts have gotten more bearish, so the charts are telling me something else now. And Bitcoin dominance is breaking out. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. And so now, because the chart has changed, it's all due to the light switch being turned off and space being created, creating less predictability. It's going to be a little harder to interpret stuff. But to the downside, right? To the downside, it should all remain just as easy. But to the upside, it's going to be a little harder. Because to the downside, you will invite, so the people like driving price down or big money, whoever it might be, right? The big bad days. I don't think they're going to want to fake out to the downside because the posturing of crypto and the stock market is already so bearish that if they do something that invites too many sellers to the table, right? Not just a bait to hook them and then run it the other way. But if they catch too big of a fish for the strength of their fish line, the fish will win. Your line will break, right? And that's why I don't necessarily anticipate a fake out to the downside unless it happens intraday. Or it happens at the end of a day. So it hangs out up here and then it closes like the last 1 hour. So this is when a fake out could happen. It would have to be a fast one, but this is probably how it would happen if a fake out to the downside happens before a move up. It would happen near the end of a daily candle. You'll have it perhaps even going up that day or going sideways the last 1 hour. So the candles close, I think, at 7 p.m. New York now. Anyway, it'll happen around 6 or 7. You'll see a strong move down. It'll close below one of these, bottom blue boxes, and then it'll come back up. But it'll happen exactly around 6 to 7 p.m. and it'll go right back up. But outside of that time, I think it would invite too many sellers, and that fish that if they would try to catch by baiting them and before bringing price up, the fish would be too big. And I think their risk the highly sophisticated algos risk analysis can identify that. So that therefore I don't think there's going to be a fake out to the downside unless it comes in that exact form that I just stated. Seeing that? I hope I'm being clear. So for example, on a 1 hour time frame, there are 24 of these candles in a day, right? So it would be the 23rd or 24th candle. So how many hours left? Hell, it could happen this half hour, honestly, because there's 30 minutes left in the day. If you see it go bam, or tomorrow at the end of the day, bam, and it closes, well, it's gonna go right back up. That would be a trap, but it would be a fast one that's perfectly timed, right? And that's the only way they would be able to stay away from inviting too many sellers for a fake out, okay? That is one area where we can add more predictability back to the chart. So we're trying to take back some of our chips of predictability. So to the downside, I think we have most of our chips. To the upside, we don't have a lot of chips between here and here. You are in kind of a no trade zone for a while from here to here. But your predictability to the upside comes back once Bitcoin hits a 45-degree angle to its previous bull trap, as we expected on this channel, 45 days before it ever happened. Because we knew price can only move 3 ways. After that origin line was hit on the November 9th dump, we've known this was going to happen for at least 2 months now. Because it's already happened, right? So about 2 months ago. It was one of 3 possible ways Bitcoin can move, and it actually took the most bearish route. I wasn't expecting that. But it was voiced on the channel. It will move in one of these 3 ways, and it took the third path. So it's not going higher than this, folks. Before it hits under 15K, the next origin line down needs to be hit. It will be hit before this high is taken out. So any rally up will be a lower high, roughly at a 45-degree. Oftentimes it's the daily 21. So after it hits the weekly 10, which it did here, see that weekly 10, per our exact plan. About 60 days ago, from November 9th. Go to my November 9th video. And November 9th, November 10th, we started planning all this out. Like it has to move sideways around the origin line for at least 20 to 45 days was the whole thing, right? Okay. And then once it crept under this origin line, we knew, okay, well, it has to swipe up to the weekly 10, bare minimum. It has to. It might hit the origin line, but many times in history, it only goes to the weekly 10, and that's the bull trap. So this time, but when that happens, it sometimes hits it a second time, maybe, but really it's oftentimes the daily 21. It often creates a failure pattern above it, which my daily 21 is yellow. I don't know where it is. There it is. Okay, so a failure pattern above this yellow line. What is it? Oh, actually, it could hit the weekly 10. It's coming down. It might hit it one more time. And that would be a 45-degree angle. That would be a failure pattern above here, and it'd be one more touch of the, yeah, honestly, it looks like what happened. And would that be a 6% move from here? Nope, not quite. A little shy. Because there's less space, right? Back here, I was expecting 6%. See that? 6%. But now it's running out of space. So if there's going to be a mini rally, the altcoins, I mean, honestly, they might. I don't think they're going to go up at all, really. It's very so. Check my Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Cosasverdes with number 2 afterward. I just posted something showing, like, you know, here on the channel, we've known since late October that once BNB crosses this such and such line only found on this channel, that altcoins will begin losing 45 to 60%. Now you're going to see a lot of other I guarantee you. Go to recent YouTubers. I bet you're seeing people say 50% drop or 40% drop now. But on this channel, we're talking about this for altcoins, right? So talking about altcoin rally not happening now because there's no space for Bitcoin, right? Since it didn't happen, let's go to, so this was the magic line that we used. Where's Shiba, BNB? We knew on this channel and in the community so this white origin line, focused on this. I said I think it was just after this, or it was right around here. So around this date to this date, which is, no, it might have been November. I apologize. It wasn't late October, mid-November. Yep. Around this time on the community, we said that if it goes under here and gets trapped, that is the initiation of a 45 to 60% move down. It won't happen all at once, but that will initiate it, period. There are no other options. And look what's happened. It fell straight from my origin line, went where? Crawling up the next one. These lines are real, folks, and you will not find them anywhere else. Feel free to make them yourself, unless you're a content creator. Then you got to find your own stuff to brand yourself. But my viewers, do this. It's going to help you. Copy my stuff, please. I'm labeling it for you. And the people who don't believe it works, you're the one who should do it the most. Because once you do it, you're going to see it's real. It's for real what smart money is looking at. Or it helps us visualize what smart money is doing. Smart money is not looking at the same exact thing. But I don't know what it is. It's some calculation of fibs or so. I don't know how they work. I really don't, but it does. That's all that matters, is that it does work, all right? So the initiation has already begun. And if you look at things like look at Algorand, that's a great example, because that is one, you know, they had angel investors. I think they recently got funding for 200-something million, right? Well, guess what's happening now? They're all letting it go. It is just crashing and burning, which is actually good, because if you like Algorand, you want to buy it cheaper. You want it to go down. If you're somebody who's holding that's your fault for not listening. I've been telling you since, I don't know, over a year ago, tether, stable. Yeah, this is going to crash and burn. Crashing and burning. Big money is exiting alts. It's not going to come back. You could get one mini rally, but that's it. I don't even think it's going to happen. And if you look at Solana, straight down, like it just, the layer ones, big layer twos that big money was interested in, they're obviously letting it loose. It's done. And we knew that this was going to happen back in mid-November, before it happened. Right? Because here was November 20th. We already knew it back then, before it fell off this cliff. BNB crossed, then this crossed. Because BNB is kind of like, I don't know, because Ethereum is doing its own thing. So I was thinking, well, what's going to lead altcoins as BNB? All right, now let's put this all together. I don't know if there's a chart of truth right now. It might be Bitcoin itself, because that light switch is not on and it's not recalibrated, as we talked about. So really, all we're dealing with is this bottom line here, which you need these boxes the same as mine. Try to make it look similar to this. Okay, I think this is out of play. I'm going to delete it. I don't think it's going to happen. I have this line starting from that wick over here, if you want to draw this exactly. So this wick from December 13th. And average slope here. Ooh, no, it's going to hit 17. Okay, now, why? Okay, now, last one. Here's the magic sauce. And there's a high probability I will be able to make a showboat video off what I'm about to show you, because it might be exactly what happens. Does it have a 50% chance of happening exactly as I'm getting ready to show you? No, probably not. But it's strong double digits. It might be 1 in 5, so 20% chance of exactly what I'm about ready to show you is exactly what would happen. Okay, a 1 in 5 chance, which I'll take that chance, because if I'm picking one exact thing out of myriad possibilities, that's not bad. Why 17.2? Well, we already know from this chart, it might want to grab some liquidity up before driving it down. Once that light switch turns back on, right? So US 500 makes that higher low on its, higher low on its way to make a lower high. Bitcoin will go here when the light switches turn back on. But what else is at 17.2? Raise your hands. What? I'll give you a hint. Large candles, large time frames. What's at 17.2? Go look. This is Dora, the Explorer channel. Cosasverdes Dora, or Diego, whatever, interactive. I'm asking, where is the backpack? Mochila. Why 17.2? Month. Let's go to the month. Let's go to a cleaner Bitcoin chart first. And let's get this dumbass small. Now I'm small. Right. And what I'm about to show you is actually kind of common. There are probably a lot of other people looking at this. But this candle is going to close when? If you don't know how to find that answer, you're not prepared for next bull run. 2 days and 1 hour. The next candle starts in 2 days and 1 hour. Let's look at the last 20 red candles. Okay, perfect. Last 20 candles. The wick up was 5%. Where did it go to? This candle body. Okay. Here we go. This red candle. Did it have a wick up? It absolutely did. What percentage? About 3. Where did it test? Up into this wick right here. Because this candle body is up too high, right? But it still went up before it went down. This one right here. What did it go test? Got close to that candle body. Went up before it went down. Hold 10%. 10% before it went down. This is probably what's getting ready to happen. Red candle. It went up before it went down. What did it retest perfectly? Almost perfectly. Candle body. But if this candle were bigger, then it probably would have only tested halfway up. Right? That's kind of the rule. Like if the previous candle were a big one, the candle body were big, it only goes halfway up. But if it's small like this, it usually tests the candle body before it goes down. It's that simple. But what's big money doing? Well, they already know it closed, it closes bearish, or what it's closing bearish, but they want to trap people to, think it's bullish, and then they drive it down. And you can see it on the monthly chart. Like the play is almost always at the beginning of the month. And it lasts often between 4 to about 12 days. And then shit accelerates. And during that time, around the end of the month to the next beginning of the month, if you track this with a volatility indicator, you'll see that it's more likely low volatility on a time frame like the 8-hour, 2-day, or whatever is going to be lowest near the end and beginning of the months, because it's going to start heating up in the middle of the month when it finally, goes down, right, on red candles. And this one, it's still backfilled, but whatever. That's actually a recovery going into the bull market. So we're going into the bull market, but look, they all have wicks. Okay, went halfway up, so it had nowhere to go, but it couldn't reach here. So what did it do? It went halfway up the wick. Just common play, halfway up something. Top had so what did this do? It went above the candle body and this one didn't really follow any rule. There must have been something here. It didn't. From a percentage basis, though, it's probably 4%. 3.5. Here we go. This one. So this had a big candle body before. It actually, honestly, I probably would have thought it would have tested up higher. I'm surprised it didn't do that. But we already know this wasn't real price action. Price was created by an algorithm only on a group of coordinated attackers on Bitcoin while the stock market made all-time high. So this one, but it still had a wick. Look how big it was. No innuendos, puns intended. 10%. Just look at all these. Are we getting the hang of this yet? Oh, here's one that didn't. This one did not. 1 out of 20. That's a 5% chance that it won't happen. 5%, right? Okay, now the next candle starts in 2 days and 1 hour. If this candle starts and it's going to be red, and this is a small candle, what are the two targets for the backfill wick? It's going to be or halfway up to maybe hit close to there. It could be 18.1. So January could hit one of those. It actually is probable. Like, I promise YouTube I wouldn't say 90% or more. But let's go from this sample. So this is true. From the sample size of this 20, right? Which is a fairly small sample size, but I think it's statistically significant. There was a 1 in 20 chance, or a 5% chance that it won't happen, which technically means there's a 95% chance that it'll happen, based off the information. We could make the sample size a little bit bigger, but what happens when you do that on Bitcoin? Returning viewers of this channel, so make sure you hit like if you haven't already. And if you're new, this is the moment to hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell and all alerts. So you got multiple clicks, the bell, and then all alerts afterward, because I'm going to keep you in the know. So this is saying that there's only a 5% chance of this not happening. Pretty good chances. But you need to be damn sure you're prepared for it not to happen, because we just saw it not happen once. Okay? So 17.2 and 18.1 are rally targets for next month. Does it have to happen? No. But I just showed you the statistics behind it within it. Oh no, I got off track. I apologize. If you go too far back, what's going to happen? Bitcoin was traded by retail only. And then Bitcoin whales, who were OGs from, 2009, 2010 through 2012, roughly. So the big plays were just those whales. And then some YouTubers, but mostly whales, who mined early and had tens and tens of thousands of Bitcoin. But now, since they don't have the power anymore, and miners and whales, the Bitcoin OG whales and miners don't have the power. It's all traditional finance. They are the ones trading and making Bitcoin move, right? But when did they enter? When did that happen? It was around 2019, early 2020. So if you go back too far and collect samples from, the prehistoric era, the fossil record's different. Could you average it all in? Sure, but I think that a slightly smaller sample size on this will be more representative. It'll give a truer, statistical measurement, because Bitcoin was not dominated, and it wasn't moved at the whim of traditional finance within at least a 4 to 10% range. Within a 4 to 10% range, big money is moving Bitcoin exactly where they want it, exactly into their longs, exactly into their shorts, but they can't do it over a large scale. Although they did do it on 𝐓𝐼𝐽𝐽𝐿 back in March through July of 2021. But that's not ever going to happen again, because the big players, as we've said, saw how much money those players made, and they're all going to fight for that sort of thing. So now, as they're all fighting, it becomes mass market psychology, and they only have control at their whim within a certain percentage, right? Within a range. But regardless, this is still statistically likely. Okay, because we just went back to when, and so those 20 candles took us back to when traditional finance started taking over Bitcoin price action from retail and miners. So be prepared for this. Now, what will that look like on the small chart? And if the backfill often lasts 4 to 12 days, that's the 3rd. That's the 8th. It's pushed below. Hangs on. It might actually go like this. And then FOMC minutes here, creates the launch pad once again. I'm not making that guess yet. It's too early for that guess. It's too far out. But if I had to guess now, I think it's 16.4 for the launch pad of the FOMC minutes on No. I'm so sorry. That's January 4th. What's late January? There's something going on in late January, the 20th. That's when Dixie should go up, actually break out. It might be the Dixie chart, but yeah, it's the Dixie. Dixie's signaling January 20th through February 1st for the move down on Bitcoin, which is a move up on its chart. So even if, so the backfill, blah, 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 now the candle turns red, then it hangs out until Dixie spikes, and then kablam. Right? And that means coming up to here, it looks like this will be hit exactly. And I will for my showboat video, if that happens, again, if I had to guess, 1 in 5 chance, I will snip out the beginning where I said I could probably showboat, and then exactly on the 4th, because the launch pad, I have 4 for 4 on it. It kind of looks like the launch pad for the 4th will be here. And so if there's bidirectional volatility related to FOMC, about 5% in each direction from a zero line. So it's 10% total, but not monodirectionally. So if you have like a number line, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, +5. Here to here is 10% range. But it goes vertically like this, 5% that way, 5% that way. So if this is the launch pad, and it's only the minutes, so it's probably going to be more like 4% each way, I would say. Yeah, because CPI usually is 4% each way, and this is going to be JOLTS, jobs reports, plus, is it unemployment? There are a couple small ones in there, but JOLTS is the big one, and then FOMC, so at 9 a.m. on January 4th, and at 2 p.m. New York, on January 4th, it's going to be FOMC minutes. It's probably going to be 4%. So Bitcoin will be right here. You'll see it like this. It'll flatten out on this line almost exactly, and hopefully this is about 4%. Let's see here. It's only 3.25. So that backfill might happen at the. So here's what's going on. So when whales move price, they have to establish their limitations of what we can do. Whales can't say, we want Bitcoin to go to 1 million. They can't do it. It's out of their range of possibilities. They can't move price within that big of a range, right? But this range, they can. And so if we know that price has already fallen off the cliff on the monthly scale, we've already verified this, right? And then we had another closure this month, even lower, with another red candle. It's too bearish to do much of anything else besides go up to the previous month's candle body, or maybe halfway up the wick, which is 18. There are limitations, right? But the more probable one is 17.2, and the event that will allow it to happen is going to be the January 4th. And they will have the limitation because of that monthly candle body. I'm telling you, it will be the target. It has a strong possibility of being the target, and that's it. That is Bitcoin. And if you learned something today and you like what you saw and you're new, there are links to the Discord community and in the video description of what the YouTube tiers offer, so you can decide for yourself what's best for you. And if you decide, hey, it's a bear market, I'm going to save my money, it's probably not a bad idea. You would still want to go to the Discord as a free member, because I'm going to start as a free member. You're not going to get a bunch of dings like you might on other Discord as a free member. I just tested on others. I hated it. Like, oh, my phone's making noise. You can expect something like once or twice a week, but it's going to be valuable stuff for you. Sometimes it's a dump alert, because I feel bad not giving that to people. Like, if I think something crazy is getting ready to happen and I can smell it, I think I just need to let everybody know. I can't not do that. Now, how to play it and all the warnings before there, free members won't get. But that is one thing I do. I've shared things like a very simple Excel file, trading journal, things to that effect, and just general alerts. And I might start having a free member, video sessions once a month or something. But you might want to sign up, or not sign up. You might want to, bare minimum, if you're saving money in bear market, totally understand. I never joined a community until my viewers forced me to make one and then forced me to raise the prices a lot. But that's how I became a YouTuber on accident, really. My viewers made me do it. And then they made me quit my job. But anyway, the free membership, it will be valuable, and I won't annoy you with a ton of alerts. So we will see you on the flip side. Streaming folks, stay on. I'm going to end the Bitcoin video. You just got Simplified Worldwide.